What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video, and yeah, another change of scenery, actually. So yeah, I tried shooting this down in the studio, actually, and it kind of became unbearable, so a little change of scenery. So I'm up here I'm officially calling this room the throne room, because you've probably seen this a couple of times before in past videos, so I'm officially giving it a name. So yeah, I'll either be filming in my studio or the throne room, okay? So that's going to be that. But anyway, I'm going to get down to the nitty-gritty. I'm here to present you guys another 5s and 10s video. So let's talk about film franchises for a moment. There's so many film franchises out there, that Hollywood can spit out anytime, okay? Let's talk about this. You got movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all your Spider-Mans, your X-Men, your Avengers, Captain America, all that BS. That's all one franchise. You have the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit franchise. You got Harry Potter, Star Wars. It's all there, okay? But there's one franchise that has stood the test of time and is still going strong today, and that is the James Bond franchise. So that's what I'm talking about today. I'm going to give you guys my top 5 favorite Bond films, actually. So I know what you're thinking. Wait, only 5? Well, to be perfectly fair, okay, there were a bunch of, the kind of thing about it. There's like a lot of James Bond films to consider. Some good, some bad. Well, depending on your pick, actually. So it was very hard to make a list. So I realized, you know what? I'm just cut this down to 5 to make it easier. But actually, there will be one honorable mention. That will be this one, which is The Man with the Golden Gun, and I know what you're all thinking is, why is this on your list, and why is it an honorable mention? Well, the reason why is, one reason, Christopher Lee, man. He played Francisco Scaramanga, the Man with the Golden Gun, actually, and I know people always knock on this one for being the weakest of the Bonds. There was not a lot of action, but the story was good, but to be perfectly fair, you had a good villain in Christopher Lee. You had a couple good kung fu scenes, where Bond's learning kung fu, and of course you had a cool car stunt. I'm not gonna give it away, but although the car stunt was kind of ruined with a cartoonish sound effect, but hey, it was still a car stunt nonetheless. That's what makes a Bond movie what it's worth. All the crazy stunts, whether it's a car stunt or not. Okay, so definitely this one. Okay, so I'd say give it another view, and it might change your mind, okay? So it's definitely on my list because of that, all right? Now I'm going to get into my top 5, okay? I'm going to breeze through this in no particular order. Spy Who Loved Me, For Your Eyes Only, View to a Kill, GoldenEye, and Goldfinger. I don't have a physical copy on me, but it's on my list, actually, okay? But anyway, now I know what you're thinking. It's like, oh my goodness, you have like a lot of Roger Moore era Bonds on your list, buddy. I'm like, well, to be perfectly fair, I got introduced to the series because of the Roger Moore Bonds, actually. But eventually, I would grow up, into the Pierce Brosnan era Bonds. And of course, if you want me to talk about and ask me, why none of the Daniel Craig Bonds, I don't want to get into specifics, okay? Everyone likes their Bonds different. Do you like the Sean Connery Bond? Do you like the Roger Moore Bonds, or do you like all that? So, wherever how you like your Bond, okay? So, but anyway, I'm going to breeze through, give my reasons why. Well, let's see. Perfectly fair with this one. This is one of the first Bond films I ever saw, actually. My parents kind of introduced me to the whole series. So remember, it just happened to be on TV, and I said, hey, what movie is this? And my dad says, oh, it's James Bond. He's a super spy. I'm like, ooh. So, that was pretty cool. So, so I watched this movie. I thought it was pretty darn cool. It introduced me to, a pretty cool action genre, the whole espionage thing, and also, beautiful pieces of the world. And that's another reason why I like the Bond movies is, can go any part where in the world, and of course, it's one of those, inspire me to travel the world one day, so that's another thing. So that's that. Also, the introduction of Jaws, in my opinion, one of the best Bond henchmen. That guy was imposing and terrifying, actually. And the guy with the metal teeth, actually, that was pretty cool. So that was pretty cool. I also liked the underwater layer of the whole villain, which was pretty darn cool. It was like, oh wow, that's something cool and original. An underwater layer, it's like kind of thing, kind of like a little dome. It's really hard to describe, actually. And of course, the villain was kind of like part, global millionaire madman mixed with a little pirate, with a pirate, because, you know, he crossed him, he fed you to the sharks. You know what scene I'm talking about, that kind of thing. So yeah, it definitely makes my list. Now, as for Your Eyes Only, the reason why this made my list was, yeah, it's another Roger Moore era Bond. There was some definitely good moments on here, and another cool, interesting tidbit was the villain. Actually, the actor who played the villain of I can't pronounce his name, Chris Stiles. Yeah, Chris Stiles. The actor Gillian Glover played General Veers in Empire Strikes Back. He was also in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He was Mr. Donovan. And for any Game of Thrones fans out there, he's Grandmaster Peasel. I don't have to pronounce the guy's name. I don't know. I've never seen the show. I just looked it up, actually. So for any Game of Thrones fans out there, yeah, he's a Bond villain in this movie. So I'd say check it out. And I overlooked one thing, is that this movie also introduced me to the silent, you know, villain. You know, like the kind of villain that doesn't speak a word. You know, the guy, I don't want to give too much of the plot away. You got to check it out, actually. And, of course, it kind of spawned, you know, the whole, you know, For Your Eyes Only thing, you know. I think everyone's heard that saying once in a while. It's like, oh, okay, this is your assignment. It's for your eyes only. Or this is, you know, confidential information for your eyes only. That kind of BS. So I kind of like that little trope there. Then we have View to a Kill. The reason why this made my list, a couple of reasons. Number one, this, and along with Goldfinger, when the latter part of the plot took place in North America, this one took place in San Francisco. Goldfinger took place in Fort Knox, you know, and all that. Number two, the villain was played by Christopher Walken. Yeah, bet you didn't know that. Number three, the theme song of View to a Kill was performed by Duran Duran, and was, in my opinion, one of my favorite James Bond theme songs. You know, for the intro kind of thing. I thought that was cool. And number four, Dolph Lundgren makes a cameo in this movie. Yes, Dolph Lundgren in a Bond film, okay? I'm about to spoil this right now for anybody who has not seen this movie, which you totally should right now, actually. In one point of the movie, Max Zorin meets with General Gogol of the KGB, and when General Gogol approaches Max Zorin, he's flanked by two agents. And if you look real carefully, Dolph Lundgren is one of those agents. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Come on, people, Dolph Lundgren, that's something pretty darn cool. You gotta check it out and prove my point. Okay, so you gotta check it out. And of course, Goldfinger. But like I mentioned with this one, the few Bond films where the latter part of the plot took place on North American soil. Obviously, the quintessential bad guy, the quintessential Bond girl. You know, our Blackman as Pussy Galore, and of course, one of the best one-liners in the in the whole movie is, or dialogue. You know, you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. I love that. So it's always a classic, especially, you know, I had to throw in one freaking Sean Connery movie on this list, okay? You know, Sean Connery era Bond, okay? So you don't agree with me, shoot me, okay? But anyway, moving on. Reason why GoldenEye's on my list is, well, let's see. The video game, obviously, that was like the halo of my day. You know, you know, we could play as, you know, all the different Bonds and all that. It's pretty darn cool. The gadgets was pretty cool. The cast was good. That's what I loved about it. And of course, another good one-liner is came from Alec Trevelyan, the villain. And of course, believe it or not, I've actually gotten nickname named from after that Bond villain a couple of times from people. Is why can't you just be a good boy and die? You know, that line. I don't want to give too much of the plot away if you have not seen GoldenEye. And of course, it might be one of the best Pierce Brosnan era Bonds, actually. Okay. Agree or disagree with me? Of course, yeah, that's that. So, yeah, I want to hear what your favorite Bond films are, okay? So, thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep it tuned here for some more awesome videos.